I don't know if I'm the one you want. Should I go?
Good evening. It is the last day of our cruise, and I kind of wanted to just do like a little recap conversation and go over pros and cons. So here we go.
Hi, it's Ruby. We are back with our 4th Mediterranean cruise video. And today we're going to be talking all about Royal Caribbean and was this a good cruise? So if you're thinking about booking a Mediterranean cruise and wondering if Royal Caribbean is a good fit, keep watching. We've sailed about 3 cruise lines in the Mediterranean, and I will say that Royal Caribbean is generally a good vibe. It's probably one of our top 3 because it caters to families but also has nightlife and things that young adults are going to really like. When you're sailing the Mediterranean, you can't really go wrong because a lot of the cruise lines go to the same port. For this cruise specifically, we did start in Italy and we went to Greece and Croatia, as well as Montenegro. So for the itinerary itself, I definitely give you the thumbs up to book the Royal Caribbean Mediterranean cruise because the sights that you see and the places that you stop in are unbelievable and very beautiful. Royal Caribbean does offer shore excursions, which I highly recommend, and if you want to see where we failed on our Athens trip as well as Santorini, I'll link the video below. But I did wish that there was more options throughout the period of time to book because a lot of things did sell out, and it is a little bit strange because there was definitely demand for shore excursions but not necessarily inventory. I don't think that's special when it comes to cruise lines. I think that happens with pretty much every cruise line if you don't book ahead. So I'm not going to dock Royal Caribbean for that because they had great shore excursion options. You just need to make sure you book them early, and you absolutely need to do that if you are cruising in the summer to these locations because it is super hot, and just having that extra level of comfort from the cruise line really makes the experience more positive.
Another con is I did not think that I needed to book any shore excursions, and if I could do it all over again, I probably would have booked a shore excursion for Croatia. When my family got off the boat, it was not obvious how to get into town and everything, and we were hearing there was a shuttle, but we didn't actually find a shuttle, so that was something I really wish that we would have just booked a shore excursion. And in Athens, had I known about, or I kind of knew about the time ticket, but I should have thought about that a little bit more because it was pretty miserable waiting to get into the ruins and everything in that heat. It was hard watching everybody fall out and not be well. Yeah, that was definitely a miss on my part.
So overall, for the section and review of the itinerary and shore excursions, they are good options. Definitely book them, and book them early if you're interested. Now, next up, we're going to talk about the ship itself. If you watch TV or on social media, you will see all of the new amazing and beautiful ships that Royal Caribbean has put out, and a lot of the newer ships sail in the Caribbean. This is the Mediterranean, so sometimes you don't get those really fancy and nice ships. I knew that going in, but I want to share with you my initial thoughts.
I did not anticipate the age of the boat bothering me, and it did for some reason, which is weird because I think it's such a beautiful cruise ship, and I understand that for certain ports, it makes more sense to be on a medium to small boat, which is what this is. The common spaces, dining room, promenade, all of that, I love the ship, but I felt the room, the sauna, things like that looked really aged, and it was hard for me to get over some of that. But on the plus side, everything was included. You didn't have to pay all this extra money to do things. I mean, if you did ice skating and stuff, you did, but I don't know, it's a trade-off. I'll probably do my own video on the pros and cons of older versus new ships, but that was something that kind of was I don't know. I love that they had the track outside where you could go running, and there's 2 levels. You could actually run up top where it tells you how far you've ran, and then there's another area down that you can, actually you can kind of see it right behind me. See the orange lines? Yeah, I like that too.
So to summarize, there's definitely pros and cons of booking an older ship like this. The Explorer of the Sea has some very beautiful common areas like the promenade, and the dining area was very, very beautiful, but the rooms themselves did show a lot of age. Now, because it is a older ship, you do get the features like the track, and that's a really nice add-on. Now, regardless of old or new ship, Royal Caribbean does have something that I didn't like across all their cruise ships.
Other miss is the laundry, because we have been in Europe for 2 weeks and I definitely needed to wash clothes. We were able to do the $34 deal where you fill the bag and they wash those clothes, but we didn't wash everything, and I love to go home with a clean suitcase full of clothes that are ready to go. So that, wasn't my favorite thing, but it is what it is.
So when we're talking about the age of the ship and then also some of the amenities that were there or weren't there, it's kind of a wash. I think that the age of the ship definitely impacted my opinion, but there were other things on the ship that were just so amazing that you only really get on those older cruise ships. So definitely keep that in mind, but I would have liked to have been able to do laundry, and I really would have enjoyed the room being a little bit more updated. Now moving on to one of my favorite aspects, the food. So let's talk about dining first. Like I mentioned before, the dining room was beautiful. We did have some challenges with getting all of us at the same table, but eventually that got rectified.
We are going to dinner. Today's formal night. We really haven't been dressing up on this cruise too much. Wearing like a dress and stuff when we go to dinner, but not like prom, So today we'll have dinner and we'll see where the evening takes us. So this, you can't see it. The premium selection that's consistent every day, but you pay extra for it. But other than that, they have like the taste of, today it's the UK, yesterday it was Mediterranean, the night before it was Italian. So I like that, and I like the chef's recommendation at the top. But I am kind of wondering, are we going to get a free Maine lobster tail, or do we have to pay for it if we want it? I'm going to ask.
3 hours later.
Yeah, I would have definitely liked for the lobster to have been free. Food was very good, both in the buffet and in the dining room. We were on deck 4 by the window. That's where we ended up after the table situation got resolved. And we had Albert and Joshua and Rafi. Excellent, super great servers. Very kind, very helpful. Gave us some tips for the days that we were at port. So definitely great food. Our previous Royal Caribbean cruise, I remember the buffet being really good, but the dining room not being that great. And so it was really nice to have good food in both the dining room and the buffet. I would have liked to have had a lobster night without paying extra for it. That was kind of sad, but I don't know. I guess times are hard.
So overall, I definitely give the thumbs up to Royal Caribbean's food options and all of the delicious choices that we had. If I had to criticize one thing, it would be the delivery fee for room service, but I think that's kind of becoming a common thing because I'm seeing that on a lot of cruise lines. Some cruise lines are offering premium packages where they cover the expense of the delivery fee, so that's one way around it. But yeah, overall, I give a thumbs up to the food choices on not only this cruise ship, but Royal Caribbean. So next up, we're going to talk about activities that are available on this cruise ship. And to be unbiased, I'm more just going to talk about what's available. And some people care more about other things than I do. So I just want to be fair in that regard. So let's start with bars. There were plenty of bars, and they were definitely themed differently and were not overcrowded. I would classify that as part of the nightlife, and there was a nightlife. In fact, there was a karaoke show at the end of the evening in some of the clubs, and there was also dance clubs. If you like casinos, that's available to you on this cruise ship, and it's pretty large, so definitely check it out if that's your thing. There were Broadway shows. They were very different depending on what night of the week it was, and I will admit, if you watched my other video, some of the shows I did really like, and some of them I didn't, but the fact that they had them and they were high caliber is a major pro. Now, if you're a parent, you might be wondering about the kids club.
Kids club was really great. It's a small space, but they did activities like every day with the kids, and my kids were always super wanting to go back. They were playing Gaga Ball, which not familiar, but they did a really great job. So shout out to the kids club. You guys did an amazing job.
If I had to grade whether you should book a Royal Caribbean cruise, specifically the Explorer of the Seas, for entertainment, I would be indifferent about it. I think it had all of the things that you need to enjoy a good cruise, and there's definitely a lot of entertainment, but there wasn't anything that really blew my mind. Now moving on to activities, and I would say the kids club was kind of like an activity, which I really did enjoy. I felt like there was a lot of things that you could do, and you did really get the classic Royal Caribbean experience. I would add also, if you're looking for free activities like the golf, there's definitely plenty of things that you can do that is not an extra charge, and that would definitely be a pro of being on an older ship. So if I'm rating just activities, I'm going to give this cruise a thumbs up.
We bought a photo package, but there was nobody taking pictures after a certain point today on the last day. So if you're going to do the photo package, just make sure you hit it really hard the first couple days so that you can get all the pictures you want in all the different places. I wish we had taken more at all of the ports. We did it at a couple ports, but that was definitely something that I think we could have utilized the photo package a little bit better. And we got the 20% off because we booked it earlier. The people that were taking the pictures were really great, and the backdrops were fun.
So let's recap all the things that we liked about this cruise that makes Royal Caribbean really stand out. We give it a definite thumbs up when it came to food and the aesthetic and the feeling and vibe in the dining room. Definitely an amazing experience. Thumbs up also to the buffet options and all of the small shops that you can get free items to eat throughout the cruise ship. That was also a pro. We're middle of the road on entertainment. Nothing really spectacular, but definitely options. So if you want to be busy, you'll find things to do throughout your stay. Free activities was definitely a thumbs up, and there was plenty of pools and areas to swim, and you usually don't really get that on super large, busy ships, so we have to give Royal Caribbean credit for that. Age of the cruise ship was an issue, but we overcame it by trying to find things that we did enjoy and not really spending too much time in the room. I did enjoy having a balcony cabin. I felt like the cruise ship has that extra element when it comes to the balconies, but the rooms were dated, the bathrooms were definitely dated, and there was some age showing in other parts of the ship, so we're gonna just give that a mid. Service on this cruise ship was very good, and the entire experience that we had with Royal Caribbean was positive overall. Overall passenger experience as well as value was definitely there, and the itinerary was amazing, but I can't say too much about that being specific to Royal Caribbean because there's a lot of cruise lines that cruise the Mediterranean and they go to the same port. So we're gonna give it a thumbs up, but we're not gonna give it any special treatment just because of the itinerary. I'd like to add on, because this was an international trip, it was really amazing to have that cruise transfer, and it was a good experience because embarkation and debarkation can be really chaotic, and when Royal Caribbean treats its guests well when they're coming and when they're leaving, that definitely makes a mark in our book. So was this cruise bad? Absolutely not. Are there things we could have did better for planning? Absolutely. Would we book Royal Caribbean again? Yes.
But overall, it's been a great trip and a good cruise. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
We hope you enjoyed our video, and if you like this content, please check us out again. Follow us on YouTube as well as Instagram. We do this every week, and we really appreciate all of the engagement and the positive comments. And just let us know if you've been to Europe or if you've been on a Mediterranean cruise, and if you feel like we got it right or if you have a different opinion.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.
Time of your life, every single night, the confetti's raining down. You put your hands to the sky, center of the crowd, you're the talk of the town. And I tell myself I don't